Well, hi, welcome. It's Grandma Roseanne. We're going to make chili. I love chili. I've never been able to make it very well, so I have to tell you a quick little story. My son, when he moved out of the house, I think for the first 10 years of living on his own, I told him, I don't think you eat anything that doesn't come out of a window in a bag. And I don't think he did for 10 years. Then there was a turn in his life. I'm not quite sure what, but I'm sure glad it did. And he started cooking. Now he is fantastic. He grills, he barbecues, he roasts, he does everything. And he came up with this chili recipe that is fantastic. I've made it before. We absolutely love it. It makes quite a bit. I'm going to can it, so we'll always have it. But wow, is it good. So if you're looking for that wonderful, wonderful meal for a lunch or a dinner when it's snowing and cold outside and you can just kind of nestle in and have a hot bowl of chili, this is going to be the ticket. So we're going to get started. I've got a skillet here. I'm going to put in just a little bit of oil, not too much, maybe like a teaspoon. Okay? I'm going to let that come up to temperature, and then I'm going to put in one onion, which I have already cut, okay? After that has started to soften up, become a little bit more fragrant and not quite so harsh, then I'm going to put in 3 garlic cloves, which I have already peeled, sliced, diced, and they're ready to go. And then after we do that, then we're going to add the sausage. And this I'm using is hot Italian sausage. You can use the mild. If I was making this for my grandchildren, I would use the mild Italian sausage. But literally any sausage that you're comfortable with would be perfect in this. But this isn't too hot for me, and cameraman really loves it, so we're good with that. And then we have 2 pounds of ground beef, okay? So let's start out with the onions. And you always put the onions in first. You don't put the garlic in first. Simply because, get up a little higher there. Simply because that garlic can burn on you and you really don't want that to happen. So this is going to take just a couple of minutes. And I will just chat with you while this is doing what it needs to do. So how's your day going? I just told Alex here, my gal that assists me and does so much to help me, I told her, these are my happy days. When I get to come in and cook, it's my happy days. I just love it. You know, so this will be a nice thing to have, this particular recipe. I think you'll enjoy it. Now, when you guys subscribe, which I hope you will all subscribe, and when you do that, there's always that little place for a comment. I would love for you to comment. Tell me it was a snowy, icy day and you were sitting by the fireplace eating this. Or telling me that you had to take it to work and you heated it up in the microwave. Whatever it might be, but I love to hear from you. And also, I would love any additions that you might make to the recipe, because I'm always open to adding and changing and discovering new things. But I'll tell you the truth, I never thought I would be discovering or working a recipe that my son had created. So, here we go. It's starting to just get nice. We're not looking for caramelization. We're not looking for that at all. I just want a little bit of the rawness of that onion to come out. All right, so these have kind of wilted a little bit. They're just nice and fragrant. They've softened up a lot. So now we're going to add the sausage. Now what I have done is this sausage, you want it out of the casing. You don't want that casing in there. So what I do is I just cut out both ends, just snip it off with the scissors, and then I just do this. Just squeeze it out. Just like that. Very easy to get out. And I did that with all the other ones already, because I figured you didn't need to watch me have to do that with a whole pound. So it's all right here. And this tool really does help when you're wanting to just really mince the meat. I'll get this cooked down a little bit, and then I'm going to add the beef. I found this little gadget on American Test Kitchen. I don't know if you guys ever watched that channel. It's really good because they give you the reason why things happen. They'll tell you the chemical balances or imbalances of things. Not that I understand them, but I think it's interesting. But anyway, I saw one of the cooks using this, and I saw that she was really able to control that the size of the mixture of the meat, and I like that a lot. Okay. Now we will add 2 pounds of ground beef. Now while this is cooking, we're going to deal with the beans. We're using black beans and kidney beans. This is a very healthy dish. It really is. So for the seasoning, and it's very, very well seasoned, we're going to start out with chili powder, and we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of that. Now, don't be afraid that this is going to be too hot because it's just full of flavor, but it doesn't have a lot of heat to it. So it's 2 tablespoons of chili powder, and then we have ground cumin, and we want 2 teaspoons of the cumin. Then 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, and this is an Italian. I'm using the Italian because I don't have any oregano right now, and this is kind of a big leaf to it, so I'm just going to grate it down. And you can do these substitutions. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. It's all good. I think a little bit more. I think that would have been about 1. Okay. And then we want 1 teaspoon of cayenne. I will tell you, my grandchildren would eat this. They really would. It's not hot at all, so don't shy away from it with all these spices. We want 1 teaspoon of onion powder. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And we will mix this up. Look at that. Ooh, all that good seasoning. Of course it'll be delicious. Of course it will. So while our meat is cooking over here ever so nicely, we are now going to add the seasoning to it. We want that to really cook into that meat. Oh, I don't think I even told you, and this is important. This is going to be an Instapot dish. So if you have an Instapot, you're going to be loving life because your dinner is going to be done like in 15 minutes. If you don't have one, not a problem. Just use your conventional pans and cook it on the stovetop. It'll be just fine. But when you have that Instapot, you can certainly use it on this. When that seasoning blooms from the heat, it smells so good. While this is coming along nicely, then we're going to prepare for the beans that are going to be put into it. So we have black beans and we have kidney beans. What we want to do though, and I think you'll want to do this as well, is I drain the liquid and then I rinse them. And the reason for that is that there's a lot of sodium in that, and I just don't know that we really need to have it in there. So we will drain. Now, I'm going to be using here, let me see, 40 ounces of black beans. So that's 3 of these cans. And then a good rinse. And I rinse them until it pretty well comes clear. And we have 30 ounces of the kidney beans. So I'm putting these into the Instant Pot so that I can rinse these out. There's something so joyful, I mean sincerely joyful, when you have struggled for so many years trying to find a recipe because it was a dish that you really enjoyed and just couldn't find it. And that was me with chili. I really could not find the recipe that I liked. You know, it was either too hot or too bland, and I don't know. But there's something really good about that. And then when I find the recipe that to my palate and to cameraman's palate that is just the way we like it, I don't even look anymore. I'm not looking anymore at chili recipes because I can't imagine that I could find one better than this. I really can't imagine that. Now, meatloaf is something else. I'm still looking for a meatloaf recipe, so if you got one, send it. Because boy, I do terrible meatloaf. All right. And then we want 2 cans, and these are 15-ounce cans. And this is diced, fire roasted tomatoes. Now we want 2 cans of that. Alrighty. Now back to our meat, which is done. And we want to drain the fat off of it. So, let me get my handy dandy little gloves here. So now we're just going to drain all that fat off, making it even more healthy. I think that's just about all the grease that will come out of here. So we can put that in our Instant Pot. I'm going to come back over here where I belong. And now we're going to put in liquid. I want to mix this all up. Oh, that looks good. And oh, it smells better than it looks. And into this, we're going to add 2 cups of beef broth. Ooh. Well, isn't that just perfect? And if you're sitting there thinking, come on, Roseanne, it really doesn't look that good. It will be, so be patient. I think it looks real good. It looks a little raw, but it looks good. Now we go into our Instant Pot. Put our, honestly, I don't use this very much. I really don't. Of all the things I could have done. All right, and then we are going to put it on manual and pressure cook. All right. So we have put this on manual, and I put it on for 15 minutes. And it'll be done. Dinner is done. Pretty slick, you guys. So when it's finished, we'll come back and I'll have a wonderful taste of it and just show you how really excellent good chili is, and you can make it no time at all. A little bit of ingredients. I'll grant you there's quite a bit of spices in there, but if you want things to be good and flavorful, you have got to put the seasoning into it. All right? So I'll be back as soon as this tells me it's ready. Well, our chili is done and it looks fantastic. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good, and it smells excellent. So now it's time for the famous taste test. Why do I never have a spoon? But we do want to make this even prettier. So how about some sour cream? And then perhaps some cheddar cheese. And a sprinkling. These are leeks, because these are leeks from my garden. But you don't have leeks, you can use green onions, spring onions. So here we go. All the good ingredients in there. Oh my goodness, it should be delicious. That is excellent, really good. Really, really good. So make it, enjoy it. Ingredients will be down below. Thumbs up, subscribe, come back. Okay, bye. Have a good day.